The way to create your world is to say, I am, and make it yours. Hello, hello. It is so fun to be here for me. I'm and I love the singing, and Karen Drucker's one of my favorites. Yes. So just a little background on me. I'm from northwestern New York, up near Canada. I left there at 23, never to look back, except for my best friend, who's still there part of the year. Moved to Durham, North Carolina. Was there for about 10 years. Moved out to California for 4 years. Ooh, not a California girl. Back to the mountains I came. I did fall in love with the mountains in California, though. So when I came back, I didn't want to go to the Piedmont. So we settled in the mountains and started developing some land there. And Waynesville is growing like crazy. I'm sure all of you are experiencing that everywhere. But with Asheville so overflowing already, we've become the breakfast community. And so it's just grow. Well, my husband is from the Ozarks of Missouri. Real introvert. God bless him. We're exact opposites. But we're both country bumpkins, literally, like cows and corn. That's what we're about. So as Waynesville started to grow, we knew we needed a little more forest around us. So we're out in the beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains now with hundreds of acres around us that isn't ours to maintain. Isn't that wonderful? We bought right in the smack in the middle, and we're not sure why the people around us never bought that 5.5 acres, but it was earmarked for us. I was a personal fitness trainer for 40 years before I retired about 1.5 years ago. COVID shut down my studio in Waynesville. But I love personal training. It was just so satisfying and fulfilling for me. It was a ministry unto itself, as you can well imagine. And what I remember most of all is discovering about 10 years into my career that it's not just about food you eat and exercise. It's the spiritual connection. We have to have that in the mix. It's part of the whole enchilada. So I started teaching a mind-body-spirit approach to personal fitness training, and it flourished. I had a wonderful practice. Loved what I was doing. Now, I've been speaking at different centers for about 10 years. Well, it's more like 12 now. Time flies, doesn't it? Oh, golly. Started at my little spiritual center. We had ministers then. They have since retired and moved to Arizona. And the practitioners took up the ministerial role of our center. And it's been running very well, board-run and practitioner-run. We have speakers that are different every week. So I go all over the place, and we have all kinds of different paths to home, right? There's no one path. That's why there's so many teachers on the planet, because we can't all hear it from the same teacher. Just weeks before I was preparing this talk, I was in meditation, and I just, like a ball peen hammer between the eyes. No, I'm not speaking on that. I have to send in my practitioner or my presenter's form like a month, 5 weeks in advance. That's hard because, a lot happens in that amount of time. And so anyway, here I was about 2 weeks out from presenting this talk for the first time. And it was at my home spiritual center, thank goodness. So I called Kimmy, our office manager, and said, got to change things for the PowerPoint. I can't do this. God is not settling for a backseat any longer. Because in meditation, it was just so powerfully it came through. We have science, and we have mathematics, and we have quantum physics, and we have all these fabulous studies. But the spiritual component has been left out. And it was just so clear to me that morning, no more. We all are enormously bright lights, came in with a lot of purpose to be here now at this very pivotal time for humanity on our planet. So, Reverend Lane said, oh, that's interesting. We have a topic or a theme that is going right along with this. And I went, don't you love how spirit works? Yes, yes. So the number one component to being, allowing spirit is to make a commitment, an absolute determined commitment to have spirit in my life 24/7. That's not just when it's time to come to center on Sunday. That's from the moment my toes hit the ground in the morning. I want the ears of Source. I want my heart to be open as Source's is. I want to see with Source's eyes. I want the words that come out of my mouth to be those of Source, God. Because if that's happening, I'm in alignment. I'm in my truth. And people, recently someone said to me, well, I was at a potluck for an 84-year-old woman at a United Methodist church. I hadn't been in a formal religious church in a very long time. And they were, singing from the hymnal and reading psalms and all of the normal practices that happen in the formal religions. And afterwards at the potluck, someone came up and said, I understand you're a spiritual speaker, inspirational speaker or something. What do you speak on? I said, the only religion there is love. Love, love, love. Nobody can go wrong if they're speaking from love. And I don't care what path you're on. I don't care what religion you decide you are, as long as you're living from love and behaving as the loving being that you came in to be. Politics, I've never been political. I've never been really interested in any of it. I can remember when my mom and dad were young, I didn't even know what party they belonged to. No one talked about it. No one flew flags out in front of their house. It was like personal. It's kind of like sexuality. I don't care who you sleep with. That's your business. That's very personal. So I've always viewed those things that way. Honey, it's live and let live time. We have got to allow and accept, period. That doesn't mean we're condoning or agreeing necessarily, but it is giving everybody the space and the right to be exactly who they are. And I learned a long time ago, everybody's right. There's no, I'm right, you're wrong. Because if you're in that space, if you're in that mindset, you're in resistance. You are already out of alignment with your source energy because God sees it all as perfect. There's not a bit of it that isn't on purpose and serving purpose and helping somebody grow somewhere. Because we're all here as works in progress, right? Yeah. So I want to talk to you just for a minute. Oh, I've got this great little book I recommend. If you haven't seen this book by Dr. Holmes, for those on the camera, Creative Minds and Success by Ernest Holmes. Just a fun little read. But I was in here the other day. I borrowed it from our lending library and immediately started writing in it. So I went to the woman who does her lending library. Said, I have to buy this book. I just can't help. I have to buy it. By the way, I want to say this before I forget. I'm a big advocate of Abraham Hicks materials, and I have printed out their emotional guidance scale. You could put it in your pocket or in your purse or in your wallet, because I believe this is where we're heading as humans. We got to get out of our heads and live from our hearts. And we have to know that this emotional system that we've been gifted is our greatest gift, better than eyesight, hearing, smell, better than any of those senses. This is what rocks, because this is what tells you moment to moment whether you're in alignment with who you are or you're stepping off the path. It's easy peasy. The majority of the world is creating from below number 8. I don't like to call these positive and negative emotions. They are guidance, period. So when you have an emotion, you can know right away whether you're having a perspective that Source has, or you're stepping into a perspective that is maybe leaving Sources behind. So, opinions versus intentions. I don't know about you, but I've been through most of my opinions. We all have them. You're going to. You're a human being. And Lord knows it's fine that you have them. But remember, opinions mean in one shape or another, you're saying, I'm right, you're wrong. And that's where the trouble begins. So rather than be an opinionator, I don't know if that's a word, let's set intention, because intention is a pure decision that is in alignment with Source. If it feels like it's coming from a loving place, that intention is from Source. And intentions can be very clean, and they're not full of resistance. When I say resistance, I'm talking anything that is basically a perspective that Source doesn't hold. Not a bad thing, just simply not in alignment. So Dr. Holmes has this wonderful little quote here. I'm going to read a little bit before it'll come up on your screen. Now, this life can become to us only through us. And that becoming is the passing of spirit into expression in our lives through the form of the thought that we give it, coupled with your feeling. Something Dr. Holmes didn't talk a lot about was the importance of identifying what the thought is creating in your body, cascading, if you will, through you. I've got to get rid of this. Because we're a chemical factory. As a personal trainer, I can tell you that there is so much going on in here physiologically, and I'll get on my soapbox just for a moment. Water, 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 water. Drink more water. We are a world living dehydrated because we have become very happy with our caffeinated drinks. For every cup of caffeinated anything, be it Mountain Dew or a cup of coffee, you should need to take in another cup of pure water, because they're diuretics, these caffeinated things. They're sucking water from you the moment you're taking them in. Every physiological system that happens within you requires water to be present. And I think if you want to think clearly, want to move through life as efficiently and vitally as you can, water is essential. It's essential. So, drink your water. But Holmes says, not too much about your feeling nature in compliance with your thoughts. Your thoughts are creating feelings in your body immediately. Now, if you stay focused on something that doesn't feel good long enough, ooh-wee, you can really get some stuff going on in your body that's messaging you, telling you, we're going down the rabbit hole here. This is good news. This is a red flag for you to pay attention to, right? Because your emotions always, always guide you. Know that. So, in itself, life is never limited. An ant has just as much life as an elephant, though smaller in size. The question is not one of size, but one of consciousness. We were talking about that earlier, Randy, in his discussion group. Consciousness, that's what makes us humans so special. Now we're finding out there's a lot of other critters on the planet with a lot of consciousness too. But for years and years, we thought we were it. We thought we were the ones with all the brains. The whales, the dolphins, the dogs, the kitties, all communicate, all have their own way, are brilliant in their own way, as are we. So, we are not limited by actual boundaries, but by false ideas about life and by failure to recognize that we are dealing with the infinite. The infinite. This is finite. It's not going to last. It's going away. Who gives a rip? We come, we go, we come, we go. We have thousands of lifetimes. It's like, don't get so caught up with what you got going on right now, because it's temporary. It's all temporary. But you, your essence, your wholeness is eternal and goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on from one adventure to the next. So, mind that. We are not limited by actual boundaries, but by false ideas about life. So, what are those false ideas? They're beliefs that we picked up along our way, programming that got put in before you were age 8. Around 8 or 9, you start to have a little choice about what you're bringing in. Before that, you're a sponge, sucking in everybody's beliefs around you. And why wouldn't you? It's a matter of survival, right? These people are giving me a home and clothing and food and a place to sleep. Yeah, I better comply, right? Now you're all grown up. You're the mom and the dad now. You decide. Ferret through those beliefs. Get the ones out that no longer are your truth. Because if you choose to bring them into your now, you're creating it some more. And you'd get to decide what you create. We can't create in another's world, but we can be of great influence, which we talked about again in the discussion this morning. We be the love, and we're like a pebble being dropped into a pond. Those ripple effects go out and affect those around you. They may not know it consciously, but we know it. We know what we're doing. We've been on this path long enough to know that we can be of a positive influence everywhere we go if we make up our minds to. Yeah. All right. Limitation is an experience of the race, but not the fault of God. It is the fault of man's perception. Right? So if you're still living in a place where you consider yourself not where you want to be, let's just say it that way, because it can be a lot of ways for a lot of people. It's time, it's overdue time to say, okay, today I'm born anew. Today I start over. Today I'm not going to drag any of that stuff that I beat myself up with me anymore. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. It's true. You have to be very deliberate and selective and conscious, aware, awake, mindful. It takes a little practice, but it gets easier and easier all the time. Why? Because it feels so good. You know, we live in a crazy world where we were raised to believe that if it wasn't struggle and strife and heartache and disappointment and hard, then we're doing something wrong. And the fact is that was back-assward all along. Yeah. The way to create your world is to say, I am, and make it yours. No ifs, ands, and buts. You don't take in the peanut gallery, your best friend, your mother. They think they know what's best for you. Only you know what's truly best for you. So, others' advice, it's kind of like opinions. Take them with a grain of salt, because everybody's got them, and everybody wants to share them. But what happens when we do that, when we take the advice of someone around us? We're calibrating, literally, as energetic beings, we're calibrating to them. Whoops! I need to be calibrating to this one, period. And when I'm calibrated to the highest and best, miracles, flow, ease, joy, right? It's not rocket science, but we've made it complicated. Not necessary for it to be complicated. Let's go back to basics. People often say, when they are told this, do I look like I decided to be poor and miserable? Do you think of me for a fool? No, you are not a fool, but it's quite possible that you have been fooled, and most of us have been. Oh my gosh, I am one of the naive ones. I am one of the ones who grew up trusting everything and everybody. I really thought the government was for us. I really thought that the medical systems were for us. I really thought the pharmaceutical systems were for us. And yes, in a way they are. We have to be our own best advocates, though. We can't give our power to the doctors, to the government, to anybody anymore, because they don't know. Only you know. And nobody's got to take care of you. You got this. Source in you, that's all you need. That's all you need. What we need to do is we need to reverse the process of our thinking and see to it that we think only positive, constructive thoughts. A calm determination to think just what we want to think, regardless of conditions, will do much to put us on the highway to a greater realization of life. Yes, you have to think the highest and best, regardless of what it looks like. When junk is coming down your path, you go, woohoo! All right. It's kind of like the pile of poop. Where's the pony? Right? Where's the pony? There's a great big pile of poop. There must be a pony. So that's what you're doing. When you have something come down your path that you're going, oh, stop, take a breath, and remember, Source doesn't put anything on your path that isn't for your highest and best. That's a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow. A hard pill. I didn't ask for cancer. No, not here, not consciously. But if you've been vibrating in a lot of anger, and that's where you hang out most of the time, the body's going to come into some dis-ease. That's the way it is. So, your job is to know Source is who I am in this body. I'm boots on the ground for Source. I walk into Walmart, I'm God incarnate in Walmart. And I'll tell you something that really happens to me all the time. Moths to a flame, people are attracted that are vibrating in love or feel that love and want more. Those who are not, it's like the parting of the river, right? They just go away. There's no light switch for dark. Your light simply takes over. Remember that. You are Source, love, and light, pure Source, love, and light. And you take that everywhere you go. And first thing you want to remember, always, don't give a rip what anyone thinks. Give that up. If you're still among those who cares what so-and-so is going to think or say. I can't stress enough that you're calibrating to the wrong energy. Your energetic calibration needs to be to pure love and light, to God's source, and let them think what they want. You know, we don't know what they've been through. We don't know why they are the way they are. But we do know that our perception in concert with God's perception can never go wrong. Can never go wrong. So, when you vibrate in peace and love and joy, which is about, there's cards, by the way, I'll be happy to give you each one. That's like 8 and above. When you vibrate there, when you choose thoughts there, I think we're becoming a new hybrid human. Because we're choosing to feel and then think. Versus all these millennium that we have thought and felt. Leaving the chemical reaction to happen in our body to happenstance. What is? Whatever gets my attention, gives me thoughts, creates a cascade in my body of feelings. Ha! Bullpucky. No, I'm in control. I decide. I'm going to feel first. And before my feet hit the ground, I choose to feel love for all beings. All beings. I may not know you from Adam, but you're my sister or brother. Because you come from the same stuff God come from. And that's me too. So that's, I think, where we have to bring Source into our everyday life and let it run the show. Let it take the wheel. And it will guide you in inspirations, phone calls, running into people. It's so magical, but it's not magical. It's the way it was always meant to be. We just thought we had to make it so much harder than it is. Really and truly. Give Source the wheel. Consciously, every day. I did a talk a while back called Good. Meditation. I am going to be on my soapbox for just a few seconds. Paramount, absolute, crucial, critical. Got to do it every day. 5 minutes if that's all you've got. I don't care. Don't ever skip a day. Keep it going. This is your time to shut down your mind enough to be inspired. And how do you know what's coming in isn't coming from your mother? Because it feels good. Yeah, I mean, I love my mother, God rest her soul. But I'll tell you what, she was one of the most negative people I ever walked the earth. And that's exactly what I chose so that I could see how not to do it. Right? That's what a lot of us did with our parents. We chose those ones who gave us very clear examples of what we didn't want to be. And that's all right. That's all good. I have several books out there, one of them being my autobiography, which, by the way, started out as a fiction. But I'll have to tell you, about 5 years into that book and spinning my wheels, it was very clear one day I got a message clearly in meditation. That's it. Get naked. Get transparent to the world. Let them all see you for exactly who you are. Because if you do that, you give them all permission to do the same thing. To free themselves from the shame, the guilt, the blame. We are our own worst critic, and that has got to stop. We need to be our own fan, cheerleader, woohoo, in our court all the way, giving ourselves pats on the back for when we do something good, because it's what we were designed for. We're not here to fix anything. Nothing needs fixing, you guys. Can you understand? It's all being perfectly orchestrated. Even those things, those pockets, you look on the planet and think, oh, such devastation, such pain. It's on purpose. It's serving some group of people. Who knows? You must trust. Spirit has it all under control. And then you give it yours. Hey, I agreed to come in and do this body in this life. What are we going to do with it? Let's have some fun. Let's really explore what this is about. And let's bring the love out into a world that forgot love. Got real caught up in consumerism, go, 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 do, do, do. We are human beings, not human doings. Remember that. You came to be. And if you don't do anything else but sit on your porch and send out love to the world, you have done a huge service to the planet. Don't ever feel like you're not doing enough. You are doing plenty if you're in your heart. And if you're staying there most of the time, I just want to invite you to own that power. That which creates worlds is at your fingertips. You can be and do and have anything you put your mind to. However, you've got to believe it. And feeling as though it's already done. That's a critical component. You can't just fantasize about what you want and think that the fairies of the universe are going to bring it for you. You got to feel it in your body like it's already manifest. You get that feeling going a few minutes every day. Honey, it's coming down the pike. It's got to. It's on your path. It's got to. Because it's law. It's law. It's like gravity. We never give a thought to it. You don't grow up having to go to gravity school. Oh, I can't step off the building. I might float up. No. But we should have been taught about law of attraction. We should have been taught what Holmes calls law of mind. Because it's real, it's consistent, and it never stops. It's very fair. Remember that. You don't get anything in your life that you're not vibrating. You created it. And for a lot of people, that's the big block. Not wanting to take full ownership. I say you can't be just a little pregnant. You got to jump in with both feet and say, okay, I'm Source incarnate. I'm going to give Source the wheel, and I'm going to be the love and light on this planet that is so, so, so ready to burst forth. We are a global family. It's just a matter of a little more time. Hang in there. Don't lose heart now. Don't lose heart now. Not now. The best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. Say that to yourself every day, multiple times a day. Believe me, it's true. We are going to see an entirely different world in not too long a time. We just have to be willing to do our part and not get sloppy, not get lazy, not get compliant. Shine your light bright. Bright, bright, bright. Don't be afraid to shine it everywhere you go. No more hiding it under baskets, bushels, whatever they used to say. No. You are that. So be it. I am so grateful that you let me come and babble at you. I would love to come back and see you again. I teach workshops that are 2 to 4 hours long. Reverend Lane and I talked about possibly I'll come back and maybe teach one. I've got one I'm doing right now called Laws to Thrive By. And it's a combination of several different modalities, basically processes, tools for your toolbox, your spiritual toolbox, so that you always have something to turn to that sets you back on course, quick, because it's a matter of not getting off for too long. If you're off and you go down the rabbit hole, go take a nap. It's best, because you can't turn that chemistry around on a dime. But you can make a decision when you lay down for that nap. Ooh, I'm not in a good space, and I want to wake up in a better place. Thank you, Source. Good night. Thank you all so much. And so it is.